Hi everybody, welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how you can make Instagram filters using a software called Spark AR. So the first thing that you want to do, as I said, is download Spark AR. You just want to go on Google and type in Spark AR download. The first link is the one you want to go in, and then you will just hit the download button that you can see right here. I will not download it because I already have. Then you need to prepare your images. I have selected, for example, my filter is about watches, and what I want them to have, what the person uses the filter, is to only have the watch. So I don't want the background. As you can see, I did this background removal. It's pretty easy, and I did it with Photoshop. As you can see, I am removing some of the watch's background. As you can see here, we can see that they don't have a background, which is what we wanted. Now what you want to do is also you want to create a 3D text for the question that you see at the beginning. So what will be your next watch? I wanted it to be kind of cool, so I used a website called cooltext.com, and you just go there and try to find a font that you like and that you will use as your question, as your text. We will see what I mean by question in a few seconds. Then you want to type in what the question will be, and as you can see on the top part, you will be able to vision in real time what the actual question will look like once you're done with your filter. Now here I will go to a new line because it was too long and it wouldn't fit, and that's perfect. I move it over at the desktop, and as I open it, you can see it's background free, just like we wanted. Now another thing that we must do is we need to compress images, because the images of our watches are very large. They're about 31 megabytes. So what you have to do before importing them into Spark AR, you need to lower the resolution so that instead of like something like 900 kilobytes each, there will be about 80 or about 30 kilobytes each, which is what we want. Now you want to open Spark AR. You're going to start by creating a face tracker and a plane. What you need to do is put the plane under the face tracker. In this case, I named it question. You want to duplicate it and name it answer. Then you want to create an animation. The animation will contain our watches. So go and choose file and select all the watches. As you can see now, if you remember before, there we go. Good. Now here I haven't selected the compressed pictures, and that's a mistake, but you need to select the compressed pictures. I also did select them, but after I did realize the error. But that's okay. I will solve it off camera later. Now there we go. It took some time importing. As you can see, now we go to the question, and we want to put it under the face tracker so that the question is a property of a face tracker. As you can see now, the two planes are sticking on the man's face, and as he moves, the planes are moving with him. I can now move the planes. In this case, the question plane will be moved on top, and the answer will be moved on top as well. It doesn't matter if they overlay, because after they will not overlay anymore. Now what you want to do is create a new material, and the material will be the question, and what the material will be the actual text that we created before. So as you can see now, we just need to scale it a little up and down because it's a little too compressed. As you can see, what will be your next watch? It's pretty visible. I am now scaling it and positioning it. Okay, now same thing we want to do with the other plane, which we want to choose file once again, texture, but instead choose the watches. Obviously you need to create a new material like we did before, and then give the new material, attach it to the answer plane. So you can see the watches are now randomly moving in a loop. And once again, you need to select material and let it be the watches, and the watches we have created them in the materials. So what you want to do is create what I said before is I created a material, and in the material texture I gave it the 61 pictures of the watches. So you can see I am now positioning the watches to make sure they're in top near the question. As I said, right now they are overlaying, but it will not be a problem. So now what you need to do is you want to add a screen tap. This will do that every time the user taps, it sends a signal. Then you want to add a switch logic, and you want to make sure to make the answer visible. So what it will happen every time we tap, every time we tap, there will be a switch. Which what it will do, it will basically hide the answer, and it will instead show the question. So this piece of logic, what it will do basically, when we tap, it's gonna hide the question, and it's gonna hide the answer, and it's gonna show the question. Then you want to connect the screen tap to our runtime and our offset. What this is doing, the offset will just it's like a variable, and the variable will contain how much for like random numbers of seconds, and you want to do less than, which is the time that it will take before it gives an answer, before it stops. You want loop animation, in this case duration 0.05, which is the speed and what we want the loop to go. And then you want to select a random number, which start value will be 0, end value will be, in my case, 51, or the number 61, the number of how many pictures you have. Here it's not really important. I'm just checking that everything is fine. As you can see, the answer is blinking. Now I will add back the NOT gate. And as you can see now, we also need to add the current frame. And as you can see now, everything is working. The current frame will just, once we have a random number, what it will do, it will round it up, meaning it will only be a rational number, and once it's a rational number, it will output it to our current frame that we have just added. So here I'm just modifying something, for example, the less than, which is the runtime of the animation, of the looping animation. Here I was scaling things to make sure everything looks good. The scale is not locked, meaning you can scale on the x-axis or on the y-axis without having them to be proportion or attached. This is you do you know, so you can adjust by yourself how much you want the scaling of every single axis. So yeah, you do you. There's not a value that is good for everybody. So here I'm adjusting the question a little bit. I thought it was a little too short, not big enough. And now we can play our animation, and as you can see, every time we tap, it works. It's a little too big though, as I did realize, and now I will make it smaller. There we go. I'm now just giving a look at all the views that we have. And I will move the watches a little bit in the center of the face. And what I will also do, as I said before, is I will be scaling them down because it's a little too big. The watch right there, if you're wondering, is an Audemars Piguet. Very nice watch. Very pricey as well. And as you can see, oops, I deselected it. Selecting the answer panel. Plane, I'm sorry, you want to position it. And that's a GMT Yachtmaster. Very cool watch. About $30,000, but yeah, cool. And there we go. As you can see now it's working. Everything is a little better. What you can now do, if you want, for example, a sound to play, you can attach whatever it be to the loop animation. So you would just create another, let's call it wire, and in that wire what you would do, you would, for example, add a sound animation or a confetti animation, as you wish. I will not show how to do that because I don't really need it, but it's very easy. As you can see, the animation is working perfectly. Everything is flawless and smooth. Yeah, good. Testing it out. Okay, now let's go through the uploading process. As you can see, it's calculating the file size. It did take a time. It took something like 35 minutes, but it took that long because I had about 30 megabytes of images, and that's where I realized that I did upload the wrong ones, and I will off camera upload the right images that are about 3 megabytes in total, all of them. So yeah, you need to make sure you use only compressed pictures if you have a lot. If you don't have that many pictures, you can no problem use the non-compressed. Now another thing that I want to add, I use the screen tap, but you can add whatever you wish, meaning if you don't want a screen tap, you can add a happy face, for example, and what they will do every time there's a happy face gesture or an eyebrow getting raised and stuff, it will simulate the screen tap. So instead of activating the sole effect with a screen tap, you can do it with your brows and stuff, as you can see. But I did prefer to use the screen tap. Now here, as we can see, we are now done. As you can see, if you look carefully now, I have changed the picture. It's not 61 anymore, it's 40, so you need to adapt that. And now I did compress them. So what you have to do is format, use PNG if you have a transparent background, because if you use JPEG, the transparent background will be gone. Now, since I had already uploaded my project, we will choose another one. You just want to hit upload, and then once the size is verified, just hit OK. You will then go on facebook.com/SparkHub, and then you will select the target. If it's Instagram or Facebook, you want to give it a name, a title, filter name. In my case, they called it video. 1, 2, 3. You want to select the category, whether it's fun or something like that. Then the keywords. In my case, I used YouTube, and since it's a watch one, I also used watch, Rolex, misspelled that, and Patek, and so on. Then you need to upload a demo video and image for the filter, and then you need to write a brief description about what the person that will be checking our filter needs to do. In this case, press the screen to make sure you activate the effect, which will tell you what your next watch will be. Very easy, very brief explanation. Then you want to check the box, and you want to hit send. I'm not going to do that since I have already sent it. And as you can see, these are the filters I've created. It's pretty nice numbers in a few days, from the basically a week. It's very nice. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, write down below in the comments, and let me know for anything else, any problems you have.